Hello. It's Ramblin' Review time. Ramblin' Reviews, Ramblin' Reviews. What's Steve? Who's Steve? Steve Swift.
Ding! Is this the end of influencer boxing? I've called it and said that it is. It's probably going to be taking a slow pause now. Pause is the wrong word, Steve. I mean, you're through to round 10 and you're probably getting a bit tired by now. So pause is the wrong word. It's going to be getting a slow decline, or maybe even a quick decline. It might, particularly with the thoughts of boxers who put their bodies on the line, but also have to sweeten the pot by giving you their premiership winning medal. The best thing they've won in their playing career if they lose. So sweetening the pot in that way, or changing referees halfway through and just disregarding the rules completely. That's probably the start of a diminishment of influencer boxing. Now, this is the business of boxing. That's where influencer boxing sits. The business of boxing, folks. Not the boxing of boxing. Not the boxing of boxing. I did a bit of that recently. No, this is the business of boxing. And quite apart from, look at that, doing all that. Look at that. It's like everybody was kung fu fighting. Those cats were fast as lightning. In fact, it was a little bit frightening, etc., etc., etc. Yeah, now, yeah, all over the place, aren't I? Ooh, taking you for a tour of the lounge, the tour to lounge. So, not content with having influencer boxing, he said, taking the phone, the second phone, with his notes here. Not only content with having the influencer boxing, we've got the business of boxing for boxing this week, because it's raised its head again. Some may say ugly head. I'd say, how dare you? Look at that. Oh, you weren't talking about me. Oh, you were talking about the idea from Turkey Al-Sheikh, who, of course, is an influencer in boxing. Not the same thing as influencer boxing, but he is an influencer with all the money that's been put into Riyadh season boxing. And he, a while ago, raised the issue, or raised the possibility of a boxing league. A boxing league. Which, of course, would mean that promoters would have no chance to do anything, would they, really? Would they? Because, really, promoters make those fights, and what you're doing is you're saying, well, let's have these fighters fighting themselves, so someone from the top will fight someone from the bottom, and then I suppose it works like that, does it? Is there some kind of computer system or something like that? But, I mean, what promoters won't be able to do is to get involved in the business of boxing too much. What they're going to have to do is abide by those rules. Now, he's bringing Frank Warren together with Eddie Hearn to, I suppose, work out the rules and convince people to lose the majority of their power with the other. I don't know what they're going to get out of it. I don't know what the pitch is going to be. I'll tell you what, you've always wanted to spend more time with your kids. Why don't we have this league of boxing, and you can do far less work? You've always wanted to downsize, haven't you? And buy a house that costs a lot less. Well, you're going to have to sell your house this time, because you won't be able to do any promoter work. I don't know if it'll work that way. I don't know. I'm not sure. Ooh, I'm not sure, but I do. Yeah, it's a bit dodgy, that. Things are up my nose. Sure, Lord Lucan's hiding up there. Anyway, well, if he was, I'd make a lot of money out of a TV programme. I'll tell you that. Now, I don't know how it's going to work. I really don't. But he's bringing these people together so that those two people, Hearn, in the red corner, in the blue corner, coming down the aisle, all of that, Warren in one corner and Hearn in the other, to talk about how they're going to, I don't know how this is going to work. What you're doing is You're saying, you're a turkey, perhaps you can vote for Christmas. Because I suppose they'll get an agreed amount of money, won't they? Maybe that'll be what they'll do. Get an agreed amount of money, or maybe you're given an opportunity to, because the computer has said, you're second in the league, you now get to play the bottom of the league, which will be, I don't know how many fighters, maybe, let's say 12. So you're second, you're now fighting the 12th. Well, the second will probably beat the 12th. So let's see if you can get loads of bums on seats, and let's see if you can make some money out of it. Well, I'm not going to make as much money as if I was able to put the second, my fighter, against the third. Never mind that. Well, hang on a minute. I can make more money if I said never mind that. Yeah, but I don't know how it's going to work. I really don't know where's the money going to be? I mean, unless you're going to give boxers wages, are you? Are you going to give boxers wages so that they get to fight, they get to pay them when they don't fight? Is that what you're going to do? I really don't know. I'm going to have managers instead of coaches. I don't know. I don't know how it's going to work. I mean, it's only a nascent idea. Nascent. There's an S and a C in the middle there. An S and a C. Yes. I don't know how it's going to work. I really don't know. Do you? Do you know how it's going to work? Law fans? Live audio wrestling. Yes, I got it in. Look at that. I got it in. I snuck it in. This is also Steve Swift's Rambling Reviews, as you know, the boxing reviews. And this I'm doing for the tidster. The tidster. What men would like to be and can never be. And also Uncle Brady. Uncle Brady. Uncle Brady. Yes, so I don't know how it's going to work, but it's been bigged up a bit, I think, if I remember rightly, or maybe this was part of the story, by Carl Froch, who is having another go at AJ. He's got a point, because people are talking about, well, I think Simon Jordan had said, well, AJ, if he beats Daniel Dubois, dynamite, on it's Saturday, isn't it? Is it Saturday or the Saturday after? Anyway, if he beats him, then he'll be a 3-time world champion and will be in the Hall of Fame or something similar like that. He'll ascend to greatness. And what Froch has said, I don't always agree with Carl Froch, and I didn't agree a few weeks ago with him, but he's got a point here. He's saying, well, not really, because he's taking the belt that the bloke he couldn't beat has given up. What you're doing is, he's had to have the belt removed from him because of choices he's made around opponents. So you've taken it, I mean, not out of the gutter or anything. I'm sure they put it in a nice muslin bag and took it around. I'm sure it was in a nice case, a nice muslin bag, with not Hessian, that'd be too rough. Something nice and smooth. Maybe velvet. Velvet's better. I got a velvet bag. Maybe it's that. And he took it out of that. And if he wins, he'll get that. But you couldn't get it from the man you couldn't beat. So there is a bit of and neither could you, Dynamite Dubois, to be honest. So there's a bit, there's a feeling that it's for a title, It's the IPF title, Yeah, but there's a little bit of an asterisk. An asterisk there. People say asterisks, don't they? I used to love asterisks. Maybe it's not an American thing or a Canadian thing, but I loved it. An asterisk there. One of those star things. Yeah. Because it should say, couldn't win it from Alexander Usyk. I'd love that. Couldn't win it from Usyk. But he's right. But what Froch is saying, I think, is that, if you stop this alphabet soup of belts, it's going to be okay, because people could just win one belt. But yeah, I understand why you do that, but it does open the door for more people to have more opportunities, doesn't it? And in the league, you'd probably be slipping down. You might be, I don't know, you'd be in the top 5, but you might not get the opportunity to get to the top. Whereas here, you can say you're at the top, even if you're not. But I'm not sure about this league thing. I'm simply not sure. Now, you'll have seen that 9 minutes have passed, because you'll probably be looking at the clock thinking, my God, how much longer of this is there to go? How much longer, eh? And we've not mentioned RG. Not yet. But don't worry. Do not worry, fair listeners and viewers, viewers too, because we'll be seeing and talking about RG. Won't be seeing him because he's not here, but we'll be talking about him, or rather I will. So next we've got Jake Paul, his manager. I want to get this right, Nikisa Bidarian, who has reacted quite strongly to Eddie Hearn saying that the Mike Tyson and Jake Paul fight will be, in inverted commas, well, actually in speech marks, I'll do them in the air, a freak show. Because Bidarian has said, hang on a minute, I mean, don't you have Katie Taylor? Don't you have her fighting on the same card? Yeah, but it really all depends who she's fighting, doesn't it, I suppose? And she's not fighting a YouTuber or someone who parks cars. She'll be fighting another boxer. It's Amanda Serrano, isn't it? So although you can say, yeah, well, you've got a fighter. Katie Taylor's fighting on the same card. Well, she's fighting a boxer. That's the most important thing. Rather than an ex-boxer who's 58 years old fighting a YouTuber who wants to be a boxer. But doesn't want to be a boxer enough to actually fight boxers who are current. Yeah, there's something else about this Tyson fight as well. Now, my understanding is that it's going to happen in November. And actually, there's more information about that than there is about the Dubois and AJ fight. And we've heard, I don't know how true this is. And what is truth these days, eh? This is my truth. Tell me yours. And I didn't say show me yours. Put it away. Blimey. Are you sure it should have that mark on it? What about that thing that's sticking out? Oh, you can get cream, you know. Anyway, put me off my dumplings. Anyway, the news is, I don't know how true this is, as I say, that Mike Tyson will only be medically checked out the day before he fights Jake Paul. Right, well, you already know. You don't need to check him out because you already know he's got an ulcer. And I have to keep saying to you, now I'm not a doctor or anything. You know, as I say, I'll have a bloody good look, but I'm not a doctor. I mean, you already know he's got an ulcer, so you might want to be careful of those body shots, don't you? Maybe they should be outlawed in this match. So what are you going to do when you see him the day before? I think the idea is that, well, he should have been looked at a long time before that. Yeah, well, he was, and we found out, didn't we? Well, when he was checked out, we didn't find out. We found out from a plane ride, didn't we? So now we know he's got an ulcer. You don't really need to check that out, do you? Or if you're worried about whether it's inflamed or anything, perhaps do check it out. But really, I don't think he should be fighting with that, to be honest. What are you going to do? What are you going to see when you check him out the day before? Oh, that ulcer's magically disappeared. And now he appears to be a 25-year-old. You don't want to get that, are you? No. So I don't... People are getting a bit about it. But really, they should be a bit about it, I think. And we're going to leave this boxing of boxing because I have wobbled on for quite some time. Wobble, 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 for quite some time without mentioning Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia, who has been quiet of late, but he's in the news again because he's branded Terence Crawford, who's... it's difficult to say who's better than who, isn't it? But I'll say it. Terence Crawford is in a better position, boxing-wise, than Ryan Garcia at the moment because A, he's a champion, B, he can make weight, and C, he's not suspended for a blooming year. So he says that Terence Crawford is overrated, boring, and that he is stealing money. Right, I'll just repeat. The thing about Terence Crawford is that he's a champion, he's making weight, and he's not suspended for a year. But at the moment, it's all about where Ryan Garcia is going to land, isn't it? It's all about the brand, isn't it? And I did say months ago maybe, he's probably just looking to get his brand together. That's what he'll do. That's the excitement he's got. That's all he's got at the moment. That's all he's got. So maybe he'll be able to sort out a brand, do things like Love Island, and celebs go dating and things like that. Love at first sight, is that what it? Marriage at first sight, isn't it? Is that what it is? Married, isn't it, at first sight? Whatever. He'll be able to do that, and then he doesn't need to box anymore. And he'll be able to make a lot of money out of the hurt game without even being in the hurt game. That could be really smart. If he could do that, which he doesn't seem to be able to do. He's either going to do one thing or the other. He can't do the boxing thing at the moment, but he might do it with Rising. And he might fight Manny Pacquiao. Please don't fight Manny Pacquiao. In the meantime, he'll do this. I'll remind you, just one more time. Champion, makes weight, not suspended. Think about those before you're telling us that he's apparently, he said, that he's boring, overrated and stealing money. I know you tried to make your name, but I'm not quite sure that Terence Crawford is the one to make your name on. Ta-ta.
SportCards.com, the best in Canada.
NHL, NBA, NFL, MLB, Pokemon, UFC, WWE.
TotalSportCards.com,
The hobby's best friends, that's
TotalSportCards.com.
RockSolidFanClub.ca gives you full access to Canada's leader in professional wrestling, featuring legends like Mick Foley, modern megastars such as Cody Deaner, and future sensations like Tyler Turva. RockSolidFanClub.ca offers exclusive series, podcasts, live streams, specials, and full events, all for less than $9 a month. Sign up today at RockSolidFanClub.ca, where real fans get it.